Go into the word. Amos 15, 18 through 20. Alas, you who are longing for the day of the Lord. See, he's even telling you, don't long for this day, because so many people are going to lose their lives forever. For what purpose will the day of the Lord be to you? It will be darkness and not light, as when a man flees from a lion and a bear meets him, or goes home, leans his hands against the wall, and a snake bites him. Will not the day of the Lord be darkness instead of light, even gloom with no brightness in it? It's going to be a terrible day for those that don't know him. And I don't wish that on anybody. It says they're going to try to hide under the rocks because they feel so ashamed. And even the rocks are not going to be able to hide them. So many are saying 3 days of darkness are coming. You're hearing that all over the place. Is this apparent in Scripture? Let's look. Could Egypt be a type and shadow for what is to come? What does the Bible say? Exodus chapter 10, verses 21 through 23. The 9th plague is darkness. Then the Lord said to Moses, stretch out your hand toward the heaven, that there may be darkness over the land of Egypt, darkness which may even be felt. So Moses stretched out his hand toward heaven, and there was thick darkness in all the land of Egypt 3 days. They did not see one another, nor did anyone rise from his place for 3 days. But all the children of Israel had light in their dwellings. How many times have we heard Pastor Rico say, when it was dark in Egypt, it was light in Goshen? So there's going to be light in Goshen. There also was darkness on the 6th hour to the 9th hour when Jesus died. What does the 333 mean that everyone is seeing? Is this a warning of darkness? I'm seeing 333 everywhere now. And I started surmising this. Could this be? I'm saying, could this be? I'm not saying it's a thus saith the Lord. I'm saying, could this be a warning? The first 3 days of darkness from the Old Testament, the 3 hours of darkness when Jesus died on the cross, and the future 3 days of darkness that's coming. Is that what God's trying to say right now? Is that the warning of 333? I don't know, but I just thought it was interesting. And we need to pray about that and seek his face and see if that's indeed what he's trying to say here. We are seeing darkness. Revelation 6, chapters 12 through 17. I looked when he opened the 6th seal, and behold, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became like blood. Revelations 8:12. The 4th angel sounded his trumpet, and a third of the sun was struck, and a third of the moon, and a third of the stars, so that a third of them turned dark. A third of the day was without light, and also a third of the night. Revelations 9:2. And he opened the bottomless pit, and smoke arose out of the pit like a smoke of a great furnace. So the sun and the air were darkened because of the smoke of the pit. Isaiah chapter 13, verse 10. For the stars of heaven and their constellations will not give their light. The sun will be darkened in its going forth, and the moon will not cause its light to shine. We are seeing these scriptures all over the place. Joel 2:10. The earth quakes before them, the heavens tremble, the sun and moon grow dark, and the stars diminish their brightness. Joel chapter 2, verse 31. The sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood before the great terrible day of the Lord come. Before, did you see that? Before the great terrible day of the Lord. The terrible day of the Lord is the last and final judgment. So he's talking about the dark is going to become dark before that day. Before the day of the Lord, the darkness will come. These are two separate events, guys. In Joel chapter 2, verse 31, he's talking two separate events. He's saying the darkness will become dark before the day of the Lord. Could that be the 3 days of darkness? Again, we have to be good Bereans and we have to study to show ourselves approved. But the Bible supports days of darkness are coming for sure. And what it says in Ecclesiastes 1:9, that which has been is what will be. That which is done is what will be done, and there is nothing new under the sun. We must watch for the signs so we are not caught off guard. So, events to watch for. These are in no particular order. The spiritual fall of America has to happen. And we see it happening. It's everywhere. Even though there's going to be a revival or whatever you want to call it, it's going to be a short-lived window. It's not going to last because the Bible doesn't support that. So there's going to be a spiritual fall of America. And that's 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 2. Oil will be found in Israel. That's Deuteronomy chapter 33, verse 24. Genesis chapter 49, 25 through 30. Oil will finance the military complex for Israel. God ain't going to leave them high and dry. They're God's chosen people. God's going to supply their needs. And that's Deuteronomy 33:19, Jeremiah 33:7, and Isaiah 60, verse 5. And this right here, the oil that Israel discovers, is going to be more oil than the Middle East. They're going to find more oil. And that's going to cause Gog and Magog to become enticed by the oil. The oil is going to be the hook in the jaw